Okay, let's talk about the real reason that you self sabotage yourself, and it is not what you think. So, if you've ever looked at your life and you thought, well, I know exactly what I need to do, so why am I not doing it? You are not alone. If you have judged yourself for procrastinating or quitting or avoiding things or just ruining your own progress, I want you to hear this very clearly. Self sabotage is not a motivation problem. It's not laziness, it's not lack of discipline, or it is also isn't a personality flaw. It is simply a way that we protect ourselves. And once you understand like what you're really protecting yourself from, everything will begin to change. And so take a deep breath because this is a shame-free space and we're going to explore this very gently and honestly and in a way that's going to help you finally move forward with way more compassion for yourself, okay? Not less compassion. So the first thing that we need to be really honest about is what self-sabotage looks like. Okay, it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's very subtle, disguised logic or responsibility. And so you might see it show up in your life as when you start strong but then disappear on yourself. Maybe you spend a lot of time researching instead of actually taking action. Or you think that like overthinking is the best way to begin and so you don't start. Or you wait for the perfect moment or for the perfect mood or for perfect clarity. Or you lower your goals so much that you can't fail. Or you create chaos even when things are going really, really well, or you quit whenever success is near because it just feels like it's too much and then you try to kid yourself that you didn't really want it. And if you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, it does not mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means that something inside you believes that change is not safe. And this is a belief that can run far deeper than our mindset. And so, a truth that so many people like never speak about is that self sabotage is your nervous system like stepping in to protect you from what? Is it disappointment? Is it rejection? Is it judgment, failure, success that you might actually change your identity or relationships or all of the above? Our brain is not trying to ruin our life, it's trying to keep us alive and accepted and in the familiar. Because your brain really does care about one thing above everything else, it's safety. And here's the part that most people don't even realize is that our nervous system actually reads change as a threat, even if the threat is considered to be a positive one, even if that change is positive. And why? Like, why does our human brain do this? Because to our subconscious, like the familiar is always, like safe, whereas new things are very risky. And that's why, if you say you want growth, but your behaviors pull you back to your old patterns, it's not sabotage, it's self protection. Your brain is trying to protect you and as it disguises itself as not now, you're not ready, you'll do it later. Okay, but the real root of self sabotage, it's not that you don't want to succeed, it's that success would require that you be seen in a new way, that you do things differently, that you might have to hold more responsibility or visibility or abundance or joy, or that you have to potentially risk being misunderstood or judged by others and allow people to have opinions about your next chapter that you might not actually like. And so self sabotage is when your brain chooses emotional safety over expansion. And once you see this little connection, everything's going to begin to soften because the solution isn't to be harder on yourself. It never is, in case you're wondering. The solution is to make growth feel safer, not scarier. And so I want to offer you some mindset shifts that are going to help you break the cycle. So the first is my self sabotage is self protection. Just like see it for what it is. You don't need shame. All your body and your brain wants is safety. And so when you stop blaming yourself and start supporting yourself more, okay, when you realize this is happening, that's when resistance starts to lose its power. The next little reframe is that change can feel scary, okay? And it does feel scary because it's unfamiliar, not because it's a wrong thing for me to do. Your brain isn't warning you against going for that goal. It's just warning you against the unknown. And so when you know this, it's like, oh, okay, cool, that's what's happening. The next is I can grow at a pace that my nervous system can handle. That's the goal. You don't need to have like these big giant leaps. Just those consistent small 1% shifts are enough to create transformation without overwhelm. The next is understanding that you can be a beginner without making it mean that you are failing. Perfectionism is the thing that fuels self-sabotage. Allowing imperfection and messiness to come into your life is going to keep the door open for progress. It's so cool to know that I can do everything messily. And so cool for you to know that too, because then you'll at least get moving. The other thing that I want you to understand is that you're allowed to outgrow the old versions of you that were just surviving. If your old identity kept you safe, understand that you can step into a new one that's going to help you thrive. Okay, because true success doesn't take from your life, it expands your life. You're not burdening others by growing. You're modeling to yourself and others what is possible. So, how do you stop self sabotaging? Okay, here's where most advice goes wrong. People will tell you push harder, hustle, force, like force discipline. But your nervous system is always going to be in resistance, and that force is going to backfire. And so the key is always to build safety with expansion. So I want you to start with this very simple shift. Okay, very simple. Instead of asking yourself, "Oh, how do I stop self-sabotaging myself?" Ask, "How can I make the next steps feel so much safer for me?" Now, safety might look like lowering the pressure, but still keeping your promises, making the first step so tiny and specific. I'm all for baby steps, being witnessed and held and supported by someone who actually has your back. And the next is pairing the action with like grounding, like the breathing, the music that calms you down, and choosing progress always over perfection. Okay? Small things grow when the space feels very safe. And whenever something feels safe to you, like then you can go on to do whatever feels possible in a safe way. Possibility becomes your new normal when you know that you can, like you've got safety in those moments, in those small baby steps. Because you're not trying to force yourself to like become someone like new overnight. You want to gently expand and grow into it. And so this week, I want you to think about a little gentle challenge. Think of an area where you do sabotage yourself, your own progress, whether it's your health or your business or your creativity or your boundaries or money, or it can really be anything. And ask yourself, like, what is your self-sabotaging ways trying to protect you from? Can you recognize it? Is it disappointment? Is it judgment, rejection, failing again, outgrowing people? And then just choose one small action that is going to honor your growth and safety. And so let's just say if you always quit on the second week when you're trying something, just commit just to doing it 3 days a week to begin with. If visibility scares you, just share like one honest sentence. It doesn't have to be like a full post. If perfection stops you, like intentionally do something messily, perfectly, imperfectly, on purpose. I do things all the time imperfectly. I promise you, I'm so far from being perfect. Now, this isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about showing your brain growth doesn't actually have to hurt me anymore. It really doesn't. Okay, just let it happen so gently and naturally, organically in your life. And if this has landed with you, and you want to take the smallest possible step just to start breaking this habit very gently, I've created a guide, the 5 thought shifts that are designed to help you make taking action so much safer and less overwhelming, especially if self-sabotage has been like running the show for years. You're going to find the link in the description. Just start there. Like one tiny shift at a time is what I'm offering you, because there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not unmotivated. You're not inconsistent by nature. Like you weren't born this way. You're just someone who's learned to survive by staying small and safe and unseen and perfect. And that worked for a while. But maybe you've outgrown that version of yourself, that only knew survival. You don't have to fix yourself. You just need to meet yourself with safety and then rise, okay? Move in the direction of your dreams. Because self-sabotage is never a sign that we're failing. It's a sign that you are on the edge of expansion. But now I want you to do things differently. So take on board everything that we talked about in this quick little video. And you know that I'm always, always cheering you on gently. Do things with lots of compassion for yourself, and I will catch you in the next video.